How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse, and I'm here with Scott from Saucony. Today, we are going to be taking a first look at the new Saucony Endorphin Speed 5. Now, Scott, the Saucony Endorphin Speed has become a fan favorite and really was the first true super trainer to hit the market. We saw a lot of super shoes on the racing side, but this was the first more versatile training option that had a full-length PIBA-based midsole. The shoe has come a long way since version 1. Tell us about version 5 and what makes it so special.
Yeah, thanks, Connor. So the Endorphin Speed 5 and the Speed itself has started to attract a very wide audience of users. So you have people that use it on race day, you got people that train in it every day. And so it's been a versatile shoe, but we want to make sure that we're maintaining like that fast feel and that shoe that keeps you up on your feet and allows you to move quickly while also being some people's favorite training shoe too.
Yeah, and I like that you brought up the speed in the Endorphin Speed because over the last few versions, we've seen some that were faster, some that leaned a little bit more towards daily training. Now with version 5, where would you say this lies on the spectrum?
Yeah, great point. So like if we think of the course of the multiple versions, you know, the first version people were like in love with, and I think we were shocked at how many people were training in it regularly. So the 2 and the 3 were both a little bit more leaning towards being like a training shoe. So we felt it was really important with the Endorphin Speed 4 to get back to being like just a fast shoe and stand for the Endorphin name. So when we updated the Endorphin Speed 5, we really wanted to maintain a very consistent fit, feel, and transition of what the Endorphin Speed 4 was.
Yeah, and when we go into this shoe's speed, versatility, efficiency, a lot of that comes from the midsole compound. That's what really separated it from the pack in the earlier versions. What do we have here in this shoe?
When we look at the evolution of Power Run PB, the use of critical compound midsoles has evolved over time. And one of the things that's starting to happen from Saucony and other brands is that we're starting to learn how to use the materials and what can we do with those materials. Specifically with the Endorphin Speed 5, you're gonna see a lot more tuning of the material and you're gonna see a lot more sculpting of the material. And what I mean by that is the material itself is getting lighter weight because we're finding ways to produce it that's gonna be a lot lighter than what we've been using previously and allows us to do other things with the shoe. The other thing from a sculpting standpoint is from an appearance, you'll notice that it looks fast. Just when we look at the material and the use of it, we can really kind of change the use of the material to identify with who the targeted consumer is.
Well, Scott, I'm glad to hear we still have Power Run PB. That is part of the reason why this shoe has been so successful, but it's also exciting to hear that it's continuing to reduce weight, get lighter and lighter. That's always a benefit while still maintaining a very comfortable underfoot experience. The Endorphin Speed also, though, has one small change over its elite counterpart, and that's the plate within the shoe. Do we still have a nylon plate or has it been tweaked at all?
Yeah, both. It does have a nylon plate. We have done a little bit of tweaking to the shoe, and one of the things with the nylon plate is that the reason we're using that is that the Endorphin Trainer, the Endorphin Pro, and the Endorphin Elite all use carbon plates, which is great for that carbon experience that encourages propulsion. A nylon plate will also assist with that, but it's not gonna be as significant as what you're going to find with a carbon plate. So it's kind of a happy medium between no plate existing and the benefits of a carbon plate.
Yeah, so you get a little bit of that stiffness to really help work with the super foam, but it's not as aggressive. It's not gonna be quite as noticeable, especially for the training runs. I think a lot of times for your daily training efforts, for some of those workouts, you don't necessarily need a carbon plate. I feel like it's starting to get maybe overused a little bit. So having tools like this are great to add into your workout lineup. Now you did talk about some changes to the plate. What do we have?
Yeah, so the big change that we're gonna see is we used to have like wings on both sides of the nylon plate, and you can actually see that in that Visi yellow on the medial side. So we will continue to have a wing, but there won't be equal wings on both sides. So this will extend off to the medial side, but on the lateral side, we've removed that. And really what that's going to allow is a little bit more torsional flexibility when you move through midfoot, but you'll have a little bit more security on the medial side.
All right, let's move on down to the outsole. What do we have here? How do you maintain that durability and traction while still keeping weight low?
Sure, so a couple things that you'll find is that we are using the XT900 rubber that Saucony is known for. A few things that have changed from a geometry standpoint is you'll see a vertical flex groove now that runs from the heel up to midfoot. And really what that's going to allow is some torsional adaptation when you're running through to midfoot, extending up through forefoot. The other thing is that we're trying to do is just make sure that we're allowing a minimal weight where we can carve out a little bit here and there. So it does keep the weight down at 8 ounces, which is kind of what the target weight has always been for the Speed.
Yeah. Now, wrapping the shoe all together, we got to talk about the upper. This has always been a nice component of the shoe because it was a little bit more built up than the true racer, really allowed for that versatility for any day. Does that philosophy continue?
Yes, you will see that the upper is very clean. It's going to be an engineered mesh. The mesh that we're using is what we call our hexagon mesh, which is a single layer application, very durable. But you'll notice when you look at both the medial and lateral side, just how clean it is and that we're not seeing a lot of stitching, trying to keep it very clean. Last thing I will point out is that we are using a 3D heel counter that really locks that heel in place and is going to give you a superior fit.
Well, Scott, I'm excited to see the improvements here with this shoe. I think a lot of those core philosophies that have been maintained over the Endorphin Speed series continue, but we get lighter, faster, just a truly versatile super trainer that can do it all. For people looking to get this shoe on their feet, when can they have it?
The Endorphin Speed 5 will be available in June of 2025.
Perfect. If you're looking to get this shoe on your own feet, you'll be able to find it here at Running Warehouse.